This is a podcast about just opinions.
Hey, yo, this is what it is. This is what I think.
We all have kind of outlandish takes.
Like, don't at me.
If there's other free form stuff that comes with it, we cover that too.
Hey, hold on real quick. Hold on. Pause.
Don't at me. We got a bonus episode in here. What's up, y'all?
What's good?
Up? Got all the Crispy Boyz.
What's going on?
Jock's over here sick.
Yeah, excuse my voice. Stuffy and shit today, so that's why I sound like that.
No one could even tell.
You sound pretty good.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of in pain.
I got sinuses.
So we actually got an interesting episode today. You got, the Crispy Boyz. Jock feels like we should do a roll call. Not necessarily a roll call, but he's like, I feel like we should introduce ourselves. I'm like, do people do that?
Yeah,
But
people
I'm like,
do
you know
that.
what? We probably should.
People do that.
We doing an icebreaker and shit. Nah.
You gonna start with yourself or what?
Mike Silva. I'm the most distinct voice. I'm the
Think so?
minority. Well, because I'm the minority in this situation.
What you think? What they gotta do with your voice?
Yeah, and I think so too.
Probably
It stands
most
out.
distinct.
Like, no, because I would say Mike's voice probably a little more distinct, so it stands out. You could tell.
It's like that the movie you were talking about earlier with the horses.
Oh,
Pardon me.
pardon me. I'm sorry to bother you. It's a good movie.
White voice.
Okay, so it's my turn. It's me. It's Chance. Y'all know what it is. You know what I'm saying? I'm in here all the time. Had a good week. How you guys doing?
Doing pretty
We're
good.
doing great, brother.
Awesome.
Doing great.
Jock over here.
What's up? Yeah, it's me. Y'all know who it is already.
We're legitimately doing like an icebreaker and shit.
Staring, I know, right?
Gerry, tell us where you went to school, what you majored. Nah,
Tell me a fun fact about you. Used to hate that shit in the school, like when you have to stand up and tell people. It's so awkward. But yeah, it's me, Jock.
Oh shit! Look, they got the OE right there. Isn't that funny? Sorry.
Gary. We got Gary in the house too.
Yeah, it's me. The guy who speaks the least.
How we all came
Not really on the podcast.
It's me.
Gary, you just gotta demand the ball, man. Call that ISO.
No, it's not even that. It just we all have strong
Just
opinions
talk.
and takes. So
You're the pensive one,
what was that?
like the pensive one.
Yeah, it's more just like to avoid clutter. I'm gonna sit back, and post up.
Nah, but that's what this
You know what I'm
podcast is all about.
Yeah, but just eliminate confusion.
I understand.
So.
So, Jock, you actually had you've done a great job actually gathering feedback.
Yeah, so today
I haven't done shit for that lately.
Yeah, we're gonna switch it up. We're gonna do a Q&A on today's episode. So I've been getting a bunch of feedback from several people.
Who the fuck is these people?
In specific though, like women, because I feel like most of the time we don't show enough love to them, and they can't really relate to.
It's not really for a reason. Like we've
Well,
tried
yeah, I
to
know,
get
just
people
'cause-
on before.
Yeah.
It's just
Right, I get it, but they just want to
It's so
hear.
last-
No. Let them finish.
Yeah, they just want to hear more like, hey, this stuff that's more relatable to them, because like sports, women don't really watch that shit half of the time. They don't know what's going on or whatever else. So they hit me up with some good feedback once again. So we're just gonna read it out and then just give our opinions on it, our honest opinions. So don't get we're gonna be blatantly honest with you guys with everything.
We'll get
I
into
wanna see what the fuck.
we'll get into some conspiracy theories afterwards too on like how this is like a veiled attempt to get Jock to open up.
Do what? What you mean?
Nah, I'm kidding. Anyway, proceed to the questions. Jock, what's the first one?
All right, so
This nigga took his glove off.
Oh shit!
yeah, so I got gloves because it's
shit's
brick
real
out here
now.
right now. Houston,
Isotoners.
Texas, isotoners.
Houston brick.
Yeah, so one of the questions, which I feel is very interesting, we're going to be honest with you guys once again, is do guys talk about feelings amongst each other?
Nah.
Boy, what kind of feelings?
Just
Emotions.
shit that we're going through, emotions. Like, hashing out
really.
like how if it's relationship talk or just emotions,
We were talking yesterday how like it's not a problem to talk about feelings, like be vulnerable and shit.
Yeah.
But like we really I feel like I don't really talk about it much. I feel like we really don't. Not because we're like that's lame, but I just feel like we don't.
I think we do, but we don't do it to the degree what women do. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think men, period, like, they put up a wall, like, to everyone around them. You know what I'm saying? They don't have to tell all their business to each other. But women, like, for some reason, naturally, like, they do. Like, anything going on with them, you know what I'm saying? Like, they gonna let you know. And I don't know. Maybe this just... it's a difference between it's a biological thing.
Yeah, physiology.
Like literally.
Yeah, I
Well,
agree.
I mean,
I agree.
I think it's a social thing. I actually had a sociology professor a while back told me that it just says as boys, like naturally you develop friendships based off the things you do. Women have developed friendships based off the things they talk about. That's how it forms. Like think about it. You're a little kid. You're like you're on your block. You're riding your bike. Like Mike, you became cool with Chance. Like how? Like doing shit together.
I told Jog before I'd go to a new school and I'm like, they're the brothers. I know I'm gonna get along with them. I'm gonna go chill.
And what do we do? We hang out. We kicking it.
Yeah,
that's you develop these
So does
bonds
that
based
mean that
off
all
of
the shit
doing
that we
things.
do actually talk about is all the stuff that we do?
I think yes and no. Yes and no.
Yes and no, but like I don't know. Like it's weird, man. Like there's really not a difference between the shit that men and women talk about, but it's like a certain degree of like, they get like deep.
How deep you dabble.
Yeah.
Like we don't get into like that much death.
We're very
We
straight.
do
We're
sometimes.
very, we're
You know
very
what I'm
black.
saying?
But sometimes we do.
I mean,
that.
sometimes we do, but
Sometimes
like,
we do that.
like you know what I'm saying?
But
Like,
mostly not.
but yeah, like, cause like nobody really gives a shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, that's the thing I love about us. We're very black and white. We don't think too
There's no
much about
gray.
shit. Yeah, it's no drama. We just it is what it is. We're pretty straightforward with shit. And with women, like you said, they overthink shit. In my opinion, don't at me. You know what I mean? But just like my thoughts. But women can overthink some stuff and they get overly emotional sometimes versus us. We can get emotional, but not to the
Right.
same extent.
Like, have you thought of the fact that we don't get overly emotional with each other? Like, we can be vulnerable without bringing emotions into it too much, to the point where, as men, we don't think about how many times we've argued with each other.
Yeah.
It's been very few.
Shut up, Gerry.
You know what I'm saying? We're not about to argue and like bicker and like slam the door on each other. And,
Well, we
like,
would do that when we were younger, though. Like kids,
not really.
I used to argue with Alan
all
the time.
But that's like arguing and like
a
arguing
grudge.
differences of opinions and like really like bickering on some like little bitch shit is like totally different. And that's
I will
what,
say
like,
this though.
you
I
guys
feel
do,
like
right? Like,
for a while though, 50 Cent did popularize like holding beefs.
yeah.
I mean,
If you think about
He
it,
really
yeah.
did.
Holding grudges.
I mean, in
and
high
shit.
school, it's like think about in high school whenever you'd be like, you know what, delete my number. Think about that. Jock almost spit his beer out laughing because that shit's true. Now, when I say you, I'm talking about all of us. Not you. We're like, oh, it's cool to be like that. Not all of us. I know you were never really with that. Gary, you just kind of quiet, so you never really with that.
It's
I
also
ain't never
Maybe
talked
just
about
this
it,
half of
delete
the
my
room,
number.
right?
yeah, it's also like a maturity level too. When we get older, we mature.
He immediately just snitched on us for being immature.
Yeah, I mean, we're immature, all of us, a little bit, but
Yeah, we growing.
yeah, we're growing. Still to this day, we're growing and learning and shit. But that's how I feel about it.
Have y'all ever noticed another thing too? Have y'all ever noticed like the most emotional you've ever gotten? Who's brung you to that point?
A female.
A lady.
Exactly. Isn't that
always
weird? Isn't that weird? That's not weird to y'all?
Yeah, men are from what's the saying? Women are from Venus. men are
Well,
from Mars.
no.
What the fuck?
I will.
Yeah.
I will.
No, so the whole point is that it's like we're never gonna fully understand like a woman, and they're not gonna. Understand
I will
us.
intervene though. I think it's okay to get emotional with sports.
Yeah. Of
It
course.
is.
I mean,
because
no,
the boy in you
you have-
comes out.
you have
But
the whole
that's-
season
that's,
invested.
that's really the only other times where I get emotional. But where you're like actually long lasting emotional,
Right.
I don't know. 18-1 kind of messed me
Yeah.
up though.
I-
18-1 kind of
yeah.
messed me up.
Patriots.
But I know what you mean though. It is funny though. Cause
No, but I mean like
On a
like,
personal,
bringing
like,
you
your
to, the
actual
point of,
life.
like you were like in a like I don't know, just like angry and just crazy. You know what I'm
I know
saying?
what you
Like you're
mean.
out of your element. You're
Yeah,
not
yeah.
yourself. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? Like
right.
You've been
if
very
you've been brought to that point, it's never been by another male. Like no other dude has gotten you. Like you know what I'm saying?
you
Like,
got me
because-
so
Because you
upset.
never released that
Like, you know what I'm
vulnerability.
saying?
You never had a reason to.
But like you don't have a reason to. Like you know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
like with a female, like dealing with a female, you will get to that point. They will bring that shit out of you.
And I think, yeah, I agree, Chance.
Because they do that shit to each other every day.
Oh, they fight all the time. All the time. That's why you see a lot of these women that aren't really friends with a lot of women. They're friends with a lot of men because they know how we are. We don't really fight and bicker like that. So they have like a bunch
Damn,
of
we hit like misogyny land hard, like early. You know what I'm saying? Going
6
right
minutes
into
in or
it.
some shit.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's how I feel about that, man. It's just crazy. You know what I mean? Like,
How do you, okay, here's a question. What are your opinions on, like, really more so the stigma tied to the girls that have a lot of guy friends?
that's a great question.
For me personally, like sometimes I think it's like it could be forced. Like, is that female like really does she really like beer? Does she really like sports, or is she just doing that just to be like, I'm
talking more
I'm
like
relatable.
The ones that actually do hang out with a lot of guys.
I'm gonna tell you this. I don't care if the dudes are like white, Asian, Middle Eastern, but when they're black, this for me personally, I know what they're thinking. You know what I mean? Like if they're single, they're gonna mostly like try to want to fuck the chick. You know, if the opportunity presents itself. Like that's how it always is. It's always in the back of our head, especially if the chick looks good.
I think that's how it is across the board. But
we're more aggressive. I feel, you know.
If that
y'all will actually make a move.
Yeah, exactly. We're just like, hey, what up? You know?
Just like you said with the dude, like that you were.
Yeah. What was the question about that?
Sorry,
about that?
I interrupted. He was asking about, or I asked,
The stigma.
What do you think about the stigma tied to like
women having a lot of guys?
I don't think it should be a stigma about it. I mean, like,
no, there is a stigma.
I mean, but
there shouldn't be, but
there shouldn't be.
I mean, it's situational.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it is situational.
But I do feel like the ones that do tend to be promiscuous do tend to be like, you know, do hang around a lot of guys.
It's my brother.
Exactly? Yeah, that's the thing to say. But is it because they've adopted that male mentality, or from like they were put on game, like so I'm
I don't know.
I mean,
maybe.
they're just around a lot of dicks, and so like you know what I'm saying.
I guess you kind
of 1
of
or 2 or 3 slip.
I was just gonna have a really bad slip and say that I guess it kind of rubs off on them. But I really did mean though.
How the fuck do we even get on talking about this? This is random. Why are we like I feel like this is toxic right now. This is like toxic masculinity, man. We're starting off this pod on the wrong foot.
Okay. Next question then, Jack.
They're gonna think this is how we always are when we're together.
We're not saying anything bad.
Yeah,
I didn't say anything.
but
I haven't actually said
just to wrap that first.
Guys,
question
just
up.
remember after this we got to pray.
Exactly.
Join hands and pray.
Yeah, for sure.
Nah, I'm
But
kidding.
Wes is on the way.
Now it sounds like we're making fun of religious people, man.
Hey,
just
to wrap that first question up.
I'm just gonna shut for a while.
Definitely, Chance. You know, I agree with what everybody's saying. We all have our different opinions and viewpoints, but I just think that it is a stigma. It shouldn't be.
I agree
About girls being friends with a bunch of guys, and you should really just trust your lady or whoever you're talking to. That she's not going to do anything. You know.
My theory on that is some of it I feel like is jealousy. Like, you're getting attention from guys. Oh, slut.
Isn't it weird that
the guys don't have any beef with it? It's the women that call the other women and give them that stigma. I don't really think it's a.
Isn't it weird on the flip side of the coin that like if a guy has a lot of girlfriends, he's gay?
He's gay. Yeah.
Yep, that's another good one.
Which he probably is. You know what I'm saying?
Probably, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
so, yeah.
He's either gay or he's a player.
Yeah, you mean in reality? Yeah,
right.
Yeah, in reality, yeah.
But like, I don't know. See, sex just
or he could be that guy that's stuck in the friend zone with like one chick, and then
That is true.
and it's like, but he's stuck in the friend zone with one chick, and then she's friends with a whole bunch of the girls.
I have very specific
planted
faces
himself
in mind
into the
right
crew.
now, like the dude that just always just the repeat friend zoner. Like he just can't ever climb his way out. He moves on to the next chick. Friend zone. Those definitely
the chronic friend
it
zoner.
definitely happens for sure.
Poor guy.
Yeah, but all right. So I guess get into the next question.
Next question.
Yeah, about that. All right. So what is this one? Okay, cool. What do guys think about on a first date? Like, what goes through our head?
These are like
pressing
questions.
Like, who are asking this shit, man?
That's what we're saying. Look,
women asking this.
Gerry,
they need to leave their acts. We need to see what the fuck.
Women asking this.
Okay, wait. What was the question again?
All right, I'll repeat it.
It was such a
for the listeners
weird
out
ass
there,
convoluted question.
What do guys think about on our first date? Like, what goes through our heads? Because women.
Well,
think a lot.
here's
They
my
wanna know
thing
what we
though.
think
Damn,
about.
color
I
them
think
draws.
before we answer that question,
She got draws on.
It's
that's true. But before we dive into that, I think we have to really define what a date is.
I wonder what's the shade of her
Yeah,
nipples.
that's true. That's fact.
I would say like it was a mutual agreement to link up somewhere after at least a week or two of texting.
And just two people, right?
Yeah, just y'all two.
That's
That's
the
the
first
first.
one. Yeah.
If y'all linking up for the first time and it's like just y'all two and y'all going somewhere, it's a date.
A date? No, if you like call someone or they call you to meet somewhere, and like it's like you said, just y'all two or whatever, that's a date.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it could be.
Like,
I
it could be
think
any
it'd
situation.
It could be formal
It could
or
be
informal,
any
but it's
situation.
a date.
Yeah.
That's a date. Like you could be going out to the club or whatever, but it's like, yo, all right,
If it's just
I'm
you
be
two.
here at this time. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Whatever. Like that's a date.
So, what are your thoughts when that happens? What's going through your head?
What that first time?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I haven't been
Say that you like her. You're feeling it.
date per
Shit.
se in a long time.
You haven't
but-
been on a first date. Shit. You
In
really
like
haven't.
Yeah, in a while.
years.
You haven't. Yeah. You haven't been on a date in a while.
Damn.
Wait, what you
Since
mean?
the aughts. When was the last time you've been on a first
a
date?
first date?
Yeah.
Like an actual date?
An actual first date.
You know what?
Like 07?
Yeah.
No, 2008.
Ooh,
And
that's
And
crazy.
we
That's 12
we went to a
years.
nightclub too. And I was rolling. Like,
She's
that's
on fire.
like- And it was kind of like a double date.
Okay.
Like, but not really though.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
No, I just want to break
But
this
like,
down.
she brung someone, I brung someone.
So you said you were rolling. So off rip, you're already kind of horny because you rolling and
Huh?
shit. So you said you were rolling.
Well, we had already been fucking before the first date. So that constitutes, right? Like that's still correct, right? That was still constitutes as a first date
Yeah, I think
because
so.
we like had fucked prior,
I guess so, right?
Yeah, it,
right?
It'll,
Like
it'll
because we
still
had
be.
one on an official
Yeah,
date.
yeah,
It was just
okay.
like chilling.
I think, I guess for the semantics of this question, it's more like before you have, yeah.
Right. Okay. So,
But then that means I guess you never really went on a.
but
But see,
actually-
okay, I guess
all right,
this
but
is
look,
kind of.
no,
I guess you're kind of
no.
answering the question
Actually,
right now.
yeah. See-
Usually, I feel like it goes down before you even go on a first date nowadays.
It's that first time where
Right,
y'all
it does.
solo
Isn't that
chopping
kinda
it up.
It does, yeah.
So, Jock, here's the counter to that question. I feel like probably 75% of the time, at least, you smashing before you going on that first date.
Oh, especially nowadays, like you said.
Before the
that's-
first
yeah.
date.
right.
So really, like, what's going? If we're gonna answer this question literally, what's
Yeah.
going on in your mind after on the first date? It's. I guess it's really like, shit. Is she gonna ask what we are?
See, nah, real talk. Okay, see, going back to that first date or whatever, like shit. What was, like I said, 12 years ago. Or
Yeah.
whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like my last one. Like afterwards, like I think. Okay, I remember this shit. Like I said, I was rolling, but like I remember this shit like it was yesterday. When we got to the club, it was like maybe like 1:20, 1:30. So we only had like, you know what I'm saying, like 40 minutes left of like club time or whatever. And like we
So that's
already
just
knew everyone,
foreplay,
so like
basically.
we like like went through the
Yeah.
line and shit, like did the walk through, got our drinks and all kind of shit like that. And like like it was all like like.
Yeah.
We didn't have to wait in line or nothing like that, so all that shit was perfect.
Yeah.
Then we ended up going to like Frank's afterwards.
Oh, Frank's.
And the
Oh.
friend actually ended up asking when we were waiting for the pizza, was like, so what are you guys? You know what I'm saying? And I was like, well, I guess like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
You
she's
my
my
girl.
girlfriend. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, so she threw me in that spot. You know what I'm saying? Like,
You know what's funny though? Like my relationship that started right before that, it started kind of the same way. Where it's like, what are y'all? She's like, people are asking what we are, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I guess you're my girlfriend.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jack.
Oh,
And
yeah, no
Steven,
doubt. Yeah.
shout out.
Hey Gary, what about you? Like, what was going on in your head on your first date with
Okay.
Angel?
So for our first date, I would say it was more of that typical like first date. Like when I thought it, when you brought up that question, that's kind of what I thought of. Like it was no like fucking smashing before, and nothing like that. It was like it was legit what that first date would be, where it's like you're really trying to get to know the person. I think of it like it's an interview process. So the first thing that's going through my head is we get to the movies. Like we bump into each other like at the door, and like I remember I opened the door for her just so I could see some cheeks. So like it's an interview process. So to make sure she has body, like she as I open the door for her, You know, it's being a gentleman, but at the same time getting a look at that ass. Yeah. I wanted to see, like, okay, that's cool. And because since we're going to the movies, I know, like, damn, it's gonna be kind of hard to talk to get to know her more.
Right.
That's a bad first date.
It was a bad first date idea, but it worked out because after the movie, you could bad first date idea but it worked out because directly after that. It was like a Thursday. She's like, "Oh yeah, I gotta go to work," but I guess so she was feeling me. So we are like, "Hey, let's talk. Let's talk where we like in the parking lot." So that's when you know it's going good. Yeah, so we started chopping it up. Then we started getting to know more about each other. Then we're like, "Oh shit, like damn, we have this in common. We have that in common."
Well, hold on.
Based on my history, if it's a movie, it usually goes down after the movie.
See, okay, the thing about the movie thing is,
we can even ask her right now.
Yeah, I believe that like if you could sit with someone for 2 hours, you know what I'm saying, like. You just vibe off that energy. You know what I'm saying? Like with the
tension.
Like,
there's almost a tension.
Like, you know? And
because you're thinking about
like slightly touching each other and shit. You know what I mean?
The little giggles.
Just like, little laughs and shit. Like you're experiencing the same like emotions. So it's like, how do you react to it? So you kind of like are feeling like you are kind of. It is like kind of a good date.
And you can whisper in her ear and shit. Try to be slick. Like, hey, crack a little joke. See if she feeling you. See, hee hee.
But if they be asking a bunch of fucking questions, like. Oh, so like, wait, what happened? Like, you watching the same goddamn movie?
True. It is a quick turn off if they're like asking like like questions like that.
Yeah.
Gerry, I can see you probably playing that move. Like, keep saying like, "Hey, isn't that Gene Hoffman or some fake actor or something like that?" Like, I swear it's Gene Hoffman. I'm telling you, it's him.
No matter, I feel like on the first date when you're feeling each other, no matter what you say, that a chick or the other person is gonna just laugh. Exactly. Just because that anxiety. Like,
hey, we used to be able to.
Yeah.
There is something cool though about the movie First Date because when you walk in, it's almost like you're walking on the stage. Like before the movie, everybody just kind of looking around and shit. So you catch people peeping, and Gerry knows firsthand. We both do because we worked at the movies, so we would see that. But on the flip side, we would also be those people walking through, with like some arm candy, and then all our coworkers would be like, "Ooh, who's she? You know, you worked at the movies too.
Who that is?"
Nah, see, like the movie, like okay,
especially if it's one that you worked with. Remember,
that's like the date when you know it's kind of like solidified. You know what I'm saying? Like, or like it's a bad first date.
Yeah,
like,
it is.
It's like not a great first date idea, but a movie date is a good date. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
because it's like, oh, okay. Like,
I will say this. I feel like
you can't do no wrong in it too.
It was like the ideal when you're younger, right? Because it's almost like I feel like it kind of helps, like you said, like you kind of have like a physical tension that builds up. I feel like it kind of helps influence like maybe some physical action afterwards. So when you're younger, I feel like sometimes you need all the tools in your tool belt because I feel like when you're younger, it's almost like. This is gonna come off bad, but the barrier of entry, like you really had to spit game, like you know what I mean, like when you're younger. Now we're all older, we're more mature. People have more of a lax perspective about hooking up.
It works out a
so
little
you don't
easier
have to try as hard, and I don't mean like people are easy. I just feel like people are a little bit more casual about it when they get older.
Yeah.
Well, and on top of that, I mean, you don't live with your parents. You have a place to stay. You're
right.
So
exactly.
So it's not so much pressure on the first move.
You have to make the most out of like the fewest amount of times together. Yeah.
Because it's like, oh shit, it's my curfew. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
But at the same time, like, see, I don't know. I feel like nowadays you get further with people when you very first meet them. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, like, always actually. Yeah, you're right.
Like when you
really are right.
Really click with someone, like that very first time that you meet them. Yeah. Like
that's
you like really start to get it up.
I know exactly where you go with this shit too.
So like,
well, really, when you say first meet them, I feel like it's also like when you first meet them, because I feel like you can meet people at like work or you can meet people, but like if you're like when you first meet somebody, or like you meet them in like they're a friend of the family or family's around, you're kind of like stiff. But once you meet them outside of that, like in their real environment, you're right. That's when you get to know them the best.
Right. Or even like I'll go back to what I'm saying, like the last relationship when I very first met, what I'm saying, my last relationship or whatever. Like I didn't even like talk to her, but I remember feeling the energy. You remember like
Yeah.
me like actually
we were
like,
all there.
asking,
We were literally all of us
all
were
of
there.
us were there. Yeah.
Where?
You remember me
Where?
asking like being like, yo, who
The
was
graduation
shorty,
party, 07.
Oh,
Who
okay.
like party
You were there
was.
too.
Y'all remember that shit,
Yeah.
right? Like me asking about.
I
that
somehow
shit.
knew, but I didn't really
just 'cause
know.
of, like that, literally that energy, that tension or whatever. That like it was just like right there, and you know,
The rest
like,
is history.
I've always been a
history,
good.
yeah.
I've always been a good point guard for you.
Chris Paul?
So
Paul, yeah.
that
Hey, at
very
least two
first
assists.
meeting, you know what I'm saying, is always important. You know what I'm saying, like especially like the first sight. You know
Just the
what I mean?
energy, you know, you guys were
Like,
giving
yeah.
off. You know, you just vibed well,
Got them vibes.
automatically. You know,
And that's why
we
you
knew
like.
that.
That's why people like. You know what I'm saying, like. Actually, like casually, like date or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like keep going out. You know what I'm saying? Because they want to like keep building on some
Yeah.
type of relationship.
Right.
Regardless of you know what I'm saying, if it's going here or if it's going there.
Yeah, something.
Because like most of the times, like you said, like before you even like start to go on dates, like you've already smashed. You know what I'm saying?
Or you doing
Like,
something, kissing something, you know.
yeah.
But yeah, so
people be
my
looking for deeper shit than that.
yeah,
Men
so,
and women.
yeah, so my
Let's
first
go next
date.
shot.
I know what goes on through my head, you know, just in the past is, you know, like you said, Gary, does she have cheeks? What's the body looking like? And you try to be like slick with it. Yeah, discreet with it to try to see like, all right, you know, hey, you know, let me open the door for you real quick so you can like see how fat her ass is or whatever. You
The
know?
problem is she gonna expect that every time.
Exactly. Yeah, you gotta keep up
Hey,
with
you
it.
didn't open the door for me.
Right.
You
But
are.
so my first
Early
we
on, you have to
forget
set,
sometimes.
You set precedents early on.
Yeah. So my first date with Sharona, what was going on in my head? A lot, man. You know, because how we met is funny too. We met at a Gold Link concert. You know, so
That's
she's
dope.
like one of the only Asian girls there,
Yeah.
and somebody might like, you know, who the fuck is this? You know, because it's mainly black people there, and she's there just like looking all, you know, just Sharona, you know how she is and shit, just looking all, oh, you know, yeah, Gold Link, yeah, you know, I think everything.
Casual.
Yeah, it's all casual and shit. So I'm like, all right, cool. So I try to talk to her, and she's giving me the cold shoulder at first, you know, obviously. And then finally she, like, opens up and shit. So I'm like, cool, you know, let me get you a drink. Because, you know, I feel like every dude should just do the gentleman thing and, like, get her a drink so she can loosen up more, so she can,
Be a
you know,
gentleman.
yeah, be more open, you know. And so finally she's like, all right, it's cool. So we went to the bar, got a drink. Fast forward to the end of the concert, I was like, you know what, man, you cool people. Like, you know, I like your vibes. I feel like we should, like, keep in touch if that's cool, you know. She's like, yeah, for sure, you know, just super, you know, how she is and shit. And then my drunk ass, she handed me her phone, and I just typed my first and last name in, and that was it. And I gave the phone back to her.
Oh, no.
And she was like, wait. Yeah, she was like, you forgot something. And I was like, what? She's like, your number.
Jack was nervous.
And everybody was like laughing and shit, like, all y'all niggas was laughing, like, oh, nigga, you stupid, you know. And then I was like, shit, you know, she definitely not going to hit me up the next day. And so I gave her my number. But to my surprise, she hit me up like 2 days after that. And that never really happened to me, especially from like an Asian woman. Because I'm going to be honest with you, like, no, from my opinion, you know, I don't speak for everybody, but just for me personally, you know, I feel like with every Asian girl that I actually like talk to, that I would just want to be friends. Like friends, turn up, have fun, but they don't want to take you seriously like that. You know what I'm saying? Just like a fun type thing, you know?
I mean, they want to
So-
they want to have somebody that can bring them to daddy.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
the
you
thing.
you know what it is, right? I don't even get into that. But so we end up, every time I would hit her up, like she would be down to hang out, you know? So I'm like, dang, this chick is like really cool. Like I'm starting to like her, you know? So I was kind of nervous, you know,
What y'all do for your first date?
because she's very smart. I'm about to tell you about the internet. You know, it's a story I'm trying to paint for the listeners. So, you know, I'm like, dang, she's smart, you know, very intellectual, and I like that, you know, so I was nervous. So our first date, we went to the museum, which is free, you know, so I was...
Thursdays?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, free on Thursdays. So we went there, and I thought I was fucking bombing it, bro. She was just quiet, yawning the whole time. I was like, fuck, like she's not feeling me because she just kept yawning, like, you know, was playing with her hair, just not, seemed like she wasn't interested. And I'm like, god damn, you know. And then it was kind of like hard bringing up conversations, and I'm just like nervous, like this shit's going bad, you know.
And y'all over here looking at T-Rex bones.
Yeah, just looking at shit. I'm like, just quiet, you know, it's quiet moments.
Jock's
What-
like,
hey,
thank God this
what
shit
museum
free.
y'all went to? Fine arts?
Fine arts, yeah, fine arts.
Oh,
Shit.
okay.
God damn.
Jock's
Then,
like,
You
thank
should,
God this
that's
shit
where you
free.
messed up. You should have went to natural science.
yeah, you're right. Facts,
Ah,
facts.
bro,
So-
fine arts.
Oh, okay.
So then I noticed like I was asking her like a lot of questions, and then she wasn't agreeing with me. Like, yeah, I don't agree with that. And like, you know, and I'm like, damn, this shit's going bad, you know. And then finally she's like, yeah, because I thought she was a teacher, like for school, not like a cycling instructor. So she was like, yeah, I have to go back. Because she kept saying like, I'm a teacher. I didn't think she was that kind of a teacher, you know. So I'm like, dang, she's fucking lying. She, you know, she was trying to like leave early and shit, like. You know, so she's like, yeah, I have to go back to work. And then I was like, I'm not going to hear from her again because, like, I fucked that up. So I tried to hug her. And then, you know, the moment when you hug, you feel like, okay, I have to go for a kiss or something. Let her know, like, I'm you know what I mean? Like, all this shit's going to my head.
Like, I'm not just a friend.
Exactly. I'm not trying to get
You gotta
friends
press
off.
that little.
Yeah, a little nudge. Yeah.
No.
It's not little, but you know what I mean. Hey-o. But, yeah, so I thought that was it, right? But she actually was interested. She had a good time. So my thing is, to that point, you can't read too much into things. You know, just because you feel like you're bombing it and like not doing as good as you can, they may not feel the same way, and so the rest is history. You know, so
I will say for me, I always had like the slow game, and I always liked like that slow hunt, that slow chase, right?
So you try to get them lost in the sauce.
That was always my problem though, because even when I would like try to just kind of not have any strings attached to be casual, I had the same approach, which is I guess is good because it's genuine. But you know, my approach is also
hey baby.
Well, it's that long slow game. Yeah, so what happens is it's more like, you know, feelings get involved. You know, so that first thought really on the first date is like, I wonder what she kisses like. That's honestly the first. Those are the thoughts on my first date because I'm like,
you're trying to think realistically.
Yeah, at least like that's at least going to be the first part, and that's not going to be. I don't know if it'll be a make or break, but you know that's at least where it's going to start, right? And I always say it, and maybe it's a little bit too much for the podcast, but my favorite thing wasn't like the taking the panties off, so to say, you know. It was like the actual like the back and forth, like the flirting, the challenge, and then the moment you know that it's gonna happen. Not necessarily the actual moment, but the moment you know. You know,
anticipation is the best.
Yeah. That was always my thing. That was always my favorite.
Yeah.
Jock, right, next question.
You got some more questions, man?
Nah, that's it.
Yeah, 2 questions.
Ask those goddamn questions.
I'm joking. I have one more.
His girl, yeah, it was fucking shit. We all right. We're getting through with this shit. I know what's going on here. I know.
Okay.
So, what are the next questions?
Not all of them. It's been different people. The next one is going to be something that's going to be very interesting. I brought it up earlier. I said I wasn't going to ask you, but fuck it.
All right, lay it on us.
All right, so and take it how y'all want it. Okay, so does sexual experiences change when you're with a different race and not the same?
Yeah, I didn't really understand the question.
So basically what that means is it different fucking a Hispanic chick versus like an Asian chick or a black chick or a white chick?
I feel like
no. I'm gonna say this.
Hey, this part though, look, and I gotta say that shit out loud.
Okay, yeah.
He said, yeah.
No, actually, you know what?
No, I said, look.
What?
Nothing. We'll continue.
Nah. You gotta put it out there.
I don't know how to say it.
Yeah, we gotta be
honest. What do you think I was gonna say?
I will say this. No, there is really no difference. Fucking is fucking. Like,
where's the whole experience though?
No, they're like, no.
Okay.
Well, I'll say this though, like there are definitely cultural differences you see in attitudes towards sex.
Okay.
Like I feel like different cultures will have a different like level of shyness, maybe, or like a different level of maybe being too open. Where you're like, shit, like you a little too and like
eager.
too like you know way too much. You know what I mean?
Of the world.
Yeah.
Well, I would say that
she belongs to the streets.
I mean, like, just sexual. You know what I'm saying? Like, I guess you said like both sides of the spectrum.
Wait, what?
I would say I've had both sides of the.
What are you trying to say?
Of the spectrum.
Vagina.
No.
Women's
like,
spectrum.
I'm saying like like prude.
Because that person didn't come off that way.
No.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm saying like prude and like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
You know, slutty or whatever. And of all types of variety. You know what I'm saying? And it's all the same shit.
Well, yeah, the actual feel. I guess
I mean with the attitudes and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? It's all the same shit.
Well, me personally,
I don't know.
Me personally, how I feel about the question that I asked is, it depends on the person, man. I feel like Chance, like you said,
it's more of a person
to
person.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's a person.
Right, I think it's a person. Like cultural, it doesn't really matter. what color you are, honestly. Because at the end of the day, it's all the same shit. Now, I will say, like, experiences do vary. Like, some women are a little bit more catering than others because of, like, how their upbringing. Like, and that may be a cultural thing. You know, it may be a little bit more like, okay, let me
But I don't even believe that.
cater to
I don't
this need
even
or this
believe that.
need.
I think it also
Because-
depends on like how do I word this?
Yo, this little squeaky chicken.
Second generation or first generation, like if you come from like migrant parents,
Yeah.
regardless of from where, whatever country outside of America, they come in with their norms. I feel like if you're first generation, you still have a lot of the norms from the previous country. The further removed you are from that, you more Americanized, you know. And I guess what does Americanized mean? More casual, lax, I guess. I don't know.
It's an idea.
Well, sex
Pretty
is not a
much.
big deal only in America. Like in other
We've talked about
yeah,
this.
other parts of the world, they do not give a fuck. They're very open when it comes to sex. We're the only ones that care so much and like over. Nah, you have to wait 3 months, 4 months, 2
Well, the
months.
funny-
all this
here-
shit.
But
Tell me
people
if y'all-
be lying about that shit though.
Do you agree with this? I feel like America is the most. I feel like we're the most actually prude, but the most publicly outgoing about our preferences. Whereas other countries, I feel like, are hush hush and don't talk about it at all. But they're way more open minded with sex, but behind closed doors, behind a curtain, all that.
I think it's the other way around, and I think that those people, like, you know, the other, like, say the European people or whatever,
Yeah.
they're just a little bit more out there. But I would say that it is literally like we are so like super sexual in this country or whatever, like, you know what I'm saying, on paper, but we're like mad kind of prude or whatever. Like,
We're
at the same
actually
time.
prude. That's what I'm saying.
Like, we're-
But like out in the public, people will post like, look at all this stuff, but they're not actually about it. Whereas in other countries, if you look at, you know, if you just look around, they're not revealing it all. Social media, some of them are just like, you have to be fully clad. You know what I mean? Like, you can't have anything showing. But behind closed doors, those could be the most freaky ones.
It's just weird that how like shit is like taboo, like. Still,
I guess it's kind of awkward, right?
Yeah.
Like if you boil it down to what it is, it's like you're naked connecting with somebody, making weird motions. Like
right.
it's awkward. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
obviously,
it is, but like,
Yeah, how do you feel about it, Gary?
Well, don't you feel weird too though when like you see people making out in public? I don't get grossed out, but it's kind of like that's a little too much for like
I can
if
do
I'm near it.
I can do
though.
without, but like, I mean,
It's awkward.
if they're making out in the sense of trying to turn me on,
Oh, that's different.
like that's different. You know what I mean? Like I'm with that.
It's an
you know what I mean?
inclusive,
Like,
yeah.
what's up? Okay.
It's well, like kind of like
Grab her butt.
To piggyback off of Mike, it's I definitely agree with when you think of like that westernized culture. It's more of like a thirst trap. It's not really genuine. Like you can show whatever and say whatever, but as Americans, we were kind of a little more fraudulent. Like
Yeah, we fraud.
you know, like it portrays an image like in media or even in the rap game. You know what I mean? Like when it comes to like even like females and.
So
If he was in the industry, like you can say, like as Americans we're known to be like revealing and vulgar and out there, but you can be very prude.
I mean, look at our politics right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have the most brash, like, vocal person as the leader of our country. You know what I'm saying? That's the perfect. He's the epitome of our country. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's everything.
The hyperbole of everything.
Like, he is the hyperbole of everything that America is like nowadays, like embodies. You know what I'm saying? Like, he is that face.
I mean, he was. I mean,
And that's
he's
us, though.
he's a reality star.
I feel like he's
You know,
like the first
slash
president that
entrepreneur.
actually fits America.
And
you know what I'm saying?
Not just that, but he fits it too.
Clinton was pretty American.
Yeah, but I mean, like, for shit show. Yeah, because he's like, man, you know what I mean? Like, he's dirty and shit. Like, you know, he's like
Bill Clinton
interns
Clinton
shit.
and Obama are relatable, but Trump is the hyperbole. It's like when you think of like the American, like, oh, he's he's celebrity slash
Well,
like billionaire
you
slash
think about royalty,
misogynistic,
royalty
racist,
is celebrity.
sexist guy. You know
You know
what
what I mean? And I say when you think about American, you think about our royalty.
Yeah.
Our royalty is celebrity. So like
Reagan was an actor. You know?
exactly. So was Nixon. A lot of people don't know
Oh,
that.
I didn't know that.
Before he got into politics back in the 40s or whatever. Yeah. But I mean, I don't know. That's what we do. That's like our biggest, you know what I'm saying? Like cash crop is fucking the entertainment industry. You know what I'm saying?
All
So
the
I
way.
mean, it's just bound to happen. You know?
Yeah, I hear you.
Like a lot of people will argue that Obama was even the first celebrity president. You know what I'm saying?
He wasn't before, but he became a celebrity.
Right.
And it was like the social media president.
Right.
Because people were
but that
rock and
just-
roll on MySpace, you remember?
But that just got
The
with
end of the
times.
MySpace.
You know what I'm saying? Like how people were talking about like the Astros cheating shit. You know what I'm saying? The scandal or whatever. Like, yo, they were really just ahead of the curve. You know what I'm saying?
They were just the ones
Because
that got
people
caught.
signs all the time.
Yes.
Nah, some people just start snitching. That's what it was. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
I like the
Niggas
Big
just
Mike
start
Poppy.
Myers.
I like the Big Poppy called him out, though.
Oh yeah, I was gonna actually send you guys that.
That was dope.
It was honest.
Yep.
But I mean, like, I don't know, man. Like, you got some more questions for us?
Jack,
I like this shit. This is actually
this
going
is,
really
I like
well.
this. Yeah, I like this.
It's funny. It's
Really
funny because
well.
I'm worried about it.
I feel like this is the
best format.
perfect format for Don't At Me because it's hyper like sensitive, like shock value, and I can tell his
I
chances
just
like
thought
eating
this
it up.
was
It's like
I
killing
just thought
him.
this was one
It's
segment.
pissing him off.
I just thought we were just getting it started off.
This is the whole shit, at least for this one.
So yeah, I'm actually running out of questions. I have one more.
Running out.
Yeah.
Running out,
I
man.
am,
You
I
gotta
am.
read every motherfucker.
Well, look, we're already
question.
40 minutes in, so
Okay,
maybe
no,
Now we
okay,
have been
so-
3 questions.
All right,
Yeah.
so okay, so
Long-
yeah,
long
but we've
form.
been talking about it, which
They're
is
essay
good
prompts.
dialogue. All right, so next question, fellas. When is the right time to wake your significant other up if they fall asleep on your arm?
Immediately.
Huh?
He said immediately.
when your arm becomes numb.
Yeah, that's when
That
it is.
happens.
When it falls asleep,
Yeah.
it's over.
It's usually sleep before they sleep.
So you wouldn't just like
Yeah.
let them just, you
No.
know, she's looking like, you know, it's my baby,
You
whatever.
sleep.
Nah, like at some point I'm like, I mean, but that's understandable though. Again, that's like maturity. Like she'll understand if I like
If I'm-
wake
Right,
her
the
up,
best thing
yanking
to
my
do-
arm out and shit. Yeah.
So,
So
Mike,
Mike, do
what
like
you
say if
open
they on
your
the right
arm?
side, like you know they over, so you go like left, and they'll go like that way, right? And like what you do is like once you get like all the way around, you fart,
Oh,
and
wow.
like you know what I'm saying. Like,
That's where
keep
you
them
go
off.
with that. I feel like I can see y'all doing this. I actually go in. So what I would do is if I'm gonna do that, like let's say it's my left shoulder, right? And I'm like, man, my arm. I'm gonna go like this and kind of like shimmy that shit. You know, like get my shoulder weight and then just
yeah.
kind of.
So kind of dig your hand
And
into
then
the bed.
afterwards, I come back like this, like after like a celebratory
Ooh.
dance that I actually made it out.
It always
Wait,
depends
I'm
on the
walking over
position
here.
that you in, but yeah, you got to get out of there immediately.
Oh yeah.
Like yeah, like no bullshit.
Like if I'm
Like-
comfortable, like if I'm watching a movie, she falls asleep on my arm. I'm comfortable. I'll stay like that. But like Gary said, once my shit goes numb, I'm like, okay, yeah, it's over. Like
I want to hear what Gary got to say.
Yeah, me too.
No, it was pretty much.
When
My
it go
thing
down,
is, guys,
perspective
also
is-
like what you.
Who usually falls asleep first, Gary? You or Angel?
It depends on
When
the
y'all
day.
cuddling and shit.
On average, typically her. So
It's always usually.
yeah. So,
usually, I'm always the first one to sleep. Emily be
Really?
up at 1 a.m.
Damn.
banging shit around at the house. Oh god,
all
But like, I feel
bagging
like
pots.
because like you'll
Yeah.
be sleep, like y'all won't be like cuddling, like whenever y'all like cuddle and like fall asleep in each other's
Yeah.
arms type shit. You know what I'm saying?
it's weird though.
Who's
Our
usually the first
relationship,
one?
like we have a lot of affection, but like we're very independent with shit. You know,
Right.
like. It's almost like, oh, well, you got to be up because you got shit you got to do tomorrow. You got to pack for this trip you're going. You know what I mean? Like, there's always some shit
Right.
that's dividing us. But we keep our time together too, though. You know, it's
really.
important.
Yeah.
No
so,
other questions?
Yeah, you ain't got no more.
I actually have a question. This is way,
All right, yeah. Let's ask
This one's-
questions amongst ourselves.
this is way out of left field. I want to disclaimer this because I was watching Raging Bull the other day. And you know Raging Bull, Robert De Niro. He's playing Jake LaMotta, old boxer. And at some point, 40 minutes in or 30 minutes in, he's married, but he starts like having eyes for this other girl. And the whole scene, they're like, "Oh yeah, she's one of those girls you got to go on dates with." And he's like, "Did you take her on a date?" And he's like, "Yeah, but it didn't go anywhere," or something like that. And then find out he's like, yeah, she's 15. And like at the time, I think this was in the 40s, right? Jake LaMotta is way older than that,
Right.
and it's just like kosher.
Yeah.
Like it's just okay, and like the whole it shows him like spitting, you know, like talking to her, pulling.
Nigga,
And I'm
some
like-
states, it's like.
Well,
you know
the
what I'm
question
saying?
is like, and I look, that's why I'm saying it's a weird question because it's going to seem like, why are you asking this question? But when did it go that way? Like, when did it go from okay to becoming completely reviling?
when
Reviled action to be like with
when
somebody
people
underage.
start using their First Amendment right to just complain. I would say that. You know what I'm saying? Like, because there was one point in time where like shit was like hunky dory for somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what they mean by make America great again. Like, you know, like there's one point in time where it was fucking great. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, you know what I mean though. Like, it's just weird to me that like, I mean, look, there are like there's a lot of sickos out there.
Right.
So I don't want to like that's what I'm saying. I don't want to like give people a pass for that. But if you look at like Roman Polanski, you know, just like, oh, no big deal. It became a big deal. That's why he fled the country. But for the longest, it was like people didn't give a shit. And I'm like, that is so weird to me. But I also feel like, and part of this does actually come with life expectancy. You know, when we were younger, I mean, in older generations, we lived for far
40
fewer
years.
years.
Maybe.
40 years.
Maybe.
But you were you as a
So you
result,
got married when you were 12.
you matured. Yeah, you matured way younger. I mean, shit. I see people like I remember when we started high school. There were people there that I'm like, that motherfucker looks 26.
Oh yeah, gold
But
teeth and
now
beard.
I go to high
People
school and I'm
thought
like,
that
this
about
dude
me.
looks 10 years
Yeah, they
old.
thought I was old.
There's
Oh,
people
yeah.
I work
I mean,
with
yeah, you had a beard.
that are 23 that look like they're 15. You know, so I do feel like part of it's like a different maturity level.
Or-
but like, when did that just? What was the change? Was there like
Or-
some precedent? Like,
I mean, or like you said, like it could just also be like when we get older, our eyes change. Like for my example, you said, like you know now you're in your 30s, and when you see someone that's what 21, 22,
23
yeah,
looks
23,
young to
and
me.
you look at them, you're like, ooh, yeah, they're young. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I mean, maybe that's
That
maybe
part
that's
is
the, maybe that's the
true, too.
wisdom kicking in, the old eyes. You're
Yeah.
like you look at people
Wrinkles
differently.
and some of the like different facial features. But you're right. The
I
eyes.
like nature. I like natural. I
Yeah.
like when a girl doesn't wear makeup.
Right,
I
me
like
too.
that. You know, like
that's my shit. And
I like the
That's my
wrinkles.
favorite Drake line.
Yeah.
What?
chilling, sweatpants, no makeup on. Like,
Yeah.
man, she ate Chinese food. She's about to be. I don't know about all that.
Got the sweatpants on.
Yeah.
Hey, but nah, like I don't know when that shit changed. Like when society, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, when morals or whatever kicked in, because maturity actually is like subjective
Yeah.
and objective. And you know what I'm saying? Like at the
Mhm.
same time,
It's all
one of those-
relative.
yeah, it's relative actually. So it's just weird that like I don't know. You have to. I guess it's like the like saying that you're 18 when you're an adult.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you're officially an adult when you're 18 or whatever. Like I mean that's just like a.
It's an arbitrary number.
Yeah, it's just like all right. Well, most people are like.
It's an agreed upon rule. If
Yeah.
you go above or below that, because I mean, shit, I could argue
It's really
18-year-old women are sometimes seem too young.
Oh
Like,
no,
I'm-
they most now.
You know what I mean? Like,
nowadays-
Man,
nowadays, no sir, man. If for real, for like 19,
Women don't really-
20-year-olds
I feel like
come around
women
me,
change.
Bro, get the fuck away.
sorry, I keep.
Y'all stupid.
I feel like women change so much until they're 25. 25 is the cutoff.
Mm,
That is
at
that
that
point
point-
year.
I'm looking for 30 and up.
So
No. What I'm saying is like they change every single year completely, 180 drastically. You're dating somebody different every single year until
Oh,
they
yeah.
turn 25.
For sure.
Then it's like, oh, okay, now I got some shit figured out.
And I would say it keeps going.
I mean, there's
They
still a
can-
little bit to a certain extent, but like 25 is always the most like yin yang year. I feel like.
which is also why you should never mold anyone because, like you said, like everyone's always developing. So once once someone reaches a certain age, it's like, okay, did you kind of get that full spectrum of like you said, like, is this who they really are?
Mhm.
You know what guys fuck up?
Where
We don't watch our moms enough. You know what I'm saying?
We subconsciously watch them though.
Like we don't but I mean like we don't take that shit in. We don't learn from like how they act upon the world. To how we
do,
should, like,
but we don't
treat
realize
women.
it.
Speaking of moms,
I feel like we do, but we don't realize it though.
Chance, you bring up a really, really good point about the moms thing. Have you guys ever noticed that every time we actually choose our spouse, we want them to kind of be like our mothers, in a sense? You ever notice that?
You want to be like your mother.
Is that kind of where you were going,
Right.
like psychologically?
Doable,
I do guess the T-shirt.
Not
thing.
your mom, you know.
Right, but yeah, not your literal mom, but you want her to have those qualities.
But mommy, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? You want her to be,
yeah.
I ain't gonna, I know.
So I always felt like that was always interesting. Like, why do we want to be with somebody that's just kind of like similar to like what our mom is? I guess because that's how we was brought up, and to us, that's like
You
that's
see
a
it.
good.
I mean, there's like that weird
used to-
psychological like Freud always talks about like you want to dethrone.
That's where
your
I thought you
father
were
kind
going.
of
You know what's
thing.
funny with that too? I used to tell my ex like, "Yo, you act like my mom," or like you know what I'm saying, you sound like my mom or some shit like that.
Yeah.
And she would always take that as like a bad thing, but actually think about it, it's actually a good thing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I
But
love my mom.
I feel like there aren't really many traits though. Like I go into each relationship in a vacuum. Like whatever we have, if this works for what it is, that's cool. But I don't really have like a type. You know, a lot of people will be like, "So what's your type?" Man, I don't have one. Like
My type is news lady chic.
yeah, you mentioned that before.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Reporter.
Like ladies that be on the news, you know what I'm saying? Those looking like that's my type.
Hey, I got a question. This one's like random as shit, but like I was thinking about. You remember back in the day when everybody used to,
Like the clip speed.
you know,
Grinding.
Hey, why were those the hardest beats of all time? when somebody was really in rhythm, that was the hardest beat of all time.
freestyling off of it.
Yeah.
Nah,
With the pen and shit.
with the pen.
Remember,
yeah.
you had to have the pen.
I
You had to
feel like
have
what,
the pen.
what made it was the fact that since the table is rattling, all 20 people at that table feel
Bass.
it. What hits is everybody has to, like, you know, when you're at a club, like nothing hits harder than like a track that everybody knows that is knocking. Like you're next to the speaker and it's thumping to where you feel it through your chest and everyone's dancing. That's what you know.
Pin vibration. in
I
your
think it's that
And
subconsciously.
you, like,
that's that same pin vibration at
Feel
that
the,
table.
like energy from like the creation of it too. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Because it's just like somebody doing that shit. Like
He's manifesting this beat.
they just
From the
manifesting
table,
that shit out of
da-da-da-da.
nowhere.
It's
It's
in
like
its
nowadays
rawest
the
form.
kids they just pull out their phones and just put on an instrumental. Even if they do that, they probably don't even do that no more. Like
Probably
I think
not.
kids listen to instrumentals.
Nah.
Probably
not.
not anymore.
Nah.
I used to make like whole instrumental CDs. You know what I'm
I
saying?
like
Like,
no one cares for that.
And you know why, Chance? You're ahead of your time, man. I feel like a lot of us here were ahead of our time
Always
in
flowing.
a lot of different ways, you know. And it just, I don't, you know, like the grinding beat, classic, freestyling. Like, you know, if you're from, can't speak on every other place, but Houston, Texas, I know every high school that I've went to, we always freestyle around a trash can or at lunch. You know, just like roasting each other. Nigga, you know, I done came down. Shit, I fell off. Remember that? And the niggas, this nigga, he trash. You know?
Everybody always done came down.
Yeah, I done came down.
Right?
If you-
Freestyle,
if you
everybody
came down.
always done came down.
And nobody, it's.
Houston, classic.
Have you thought of the answer to it? Where did we come down from? Like, what were we referring to?
Especially because
Nobody
we're in the South.
Yeah, it was crazy when you came down. When you came down, that means you arrived. Like when you get
Yeah.
down and came down, so that means, hey, listen up, I'm right here.
I'm here.
I'm here.
Like if you come in from like
That's kinda deep.
downstairs, coming downstairs from upstairs, I done came down.
Yeah.
I done came down them stairs over there, and you know, next thing you know, it's like, man, that shit kind of sound throwed. Pops be saying that shit a lot. That's right. That's kind of catchy,
Yeah.
right? Chance, true or false? Every freestyler done came down.
oh yeah, I didn't came down. Man, you know you see me. The nigga Chance in my car. I got 3 TVs.
Exactly.
Hey.
Whoa, whoa.
The next Crispy Boyz production is gonna be an album mixtape.
Oh yeah, nah,
do it.
for real. Like,
We actually do have
that's
like
what
I
wanna
wrote
do,
some
man.
songs.
I just want to like start just spinning records in like my garage or something.
Yeah.
And just have motherfuckers come out and just start spitting. You know what I'm saying? Like
That's
for
a
the
cool
for the
bar
next
idea.
for the
Freestyle
next
bar.
for next play it by ear, should we do an instrumental and have it playing for like June 27th.
Freestyle?
No. For like for example, for June
Ooh,
on
we do
June
need
20 on
It's gonna
June
be a whole nother
27th.
project.
Yeah, okay, so we could save it for a whole other project, but June
We do need to do
27th,
that.
we can do a 5-minute freestyle where all of us split a couple
Oh,
bars
shit.
going back and forth.
A bonus
Even if we
episode.
stumble, we
I'm
just
about
all
to
keep
be-
going.
I'm about to be
And
trash.
Niggas ain't
piggyback
ready
off
for
each
I
other.
cannot freestyle.
Nah,
So
we'd
it can
have
be
it
fun.
ready. I like that idea. I like that, and then
I like
actually
that
doing a
idea, too.
listen along with June 27th.
Yeah, that's dope.
Yeah.
35-minute podcast for you.
Yeah, cool.
Perfect.
Well, shit, we hit an hour just about.
Oh,
The
yeah.
Q&A. This
You
was
ain't
a
got
fun
no more
experiment.
questions?
No more questions.
This is
at
the
all.
Q&A
That's
episode?
Q&A episode.
This is a fun one. We want feedback. Hey,
For real,
so I
send us
actually
questions.
I made a mistake on the last podcast. I said that the Gmail was the Rep Network. It's actually repertoire network at gmail.com, right?
Oh.
You made that. Or is
I
it the
did.
repertoire?
All right, I guess I'll be forgetting.
I did too. All right, so it's definitely not the Rep Network at Gmail, but we did actually consolidate social media.
Right.
So if you go on Instagram or Twitter, either one, we now have the same handle at the Rep Network. So if you're going to follow us on either of those, please do. That's a good place to add us. We actually do want you to add us. Even though we say
Yeah.
don't add me, you guys can add us. We
Yeah.
want the feedback. We want to hear what you guys have to say.
And my thing is about that too, guys. Like, when you are subscribing, and I'm gonna keep saying this till I'm blue in the face, please write a review if you can. Or
Yep.
give us some kind of feedback, constructive criticism, because that's how we can't get any better if we don't know, like, if you guys like what we're talking about, like our content, you know. So keep that in mind at all times. Like, good feedback, negative, whatever. Just give us some kind of feedback, you know.
Or don't. Eat a dick. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, hey, follow me at that nigga chance. Y'all already know what it is. And at, what is it? The Rep Network?
The Rep Network on Twitter and Instagram.
And that's THENET.
REP work.
Work. Put in work.
And then the Gmail, repertoire network at gmail.com. That's for feedback. Shoot us anything you want. Email us. We'll bring some questions. I actually like this format.
Yeah, I do too. Gary, you got anything you want to say?
Nah, it was dope. Keep the questions coming in.
Okay.
Goodbye.
Jack?
Now, that's it. Like I already said what I had to say about, the reviews, and just be honest with us with the feedback, and that's about it.
All right. Well, hey, tune in next week. We might have another bonus episode. Maybe, maybe not. Peace. Bonus feedback session.
What are y'all?
That was later on that night.
So
Yeah, her best friend.
Dave, you're already saying like, oh yeah, we've been fucking. This is our first date, and now we're together.
Because, okay,
So-
all right.
But you already knew
Because,
that,
all right,
right?
so that's what we were talking about.
Yeah.
In this new age, the millennium or whatnot, like when, we started to, like, get into dating and shit like that, when we became adults, like this was 2008. Like, we had met prior to that, like almost a year or whatever. But like, literally, it was just like how Gary's standing right there and I'm sitting right here. That's like literally all it was. And then like the motherfucker like moved across the street. We smoked a few times. We started chilling and shit. We ended up fucking. The first time we ever went out for a date, per se, was this time at the
But
club.
then you say y'all went to the club. Y'all were there for like 30 minutes. Y'all already been fucking. Like, that's not a real first.
We went to
date.
Frank's right after. We had pizza. Then that's why I got
Well,
asked,
and
like,
I guess-
what are you guys?
So is it then? I
And
guess
so that's when I was just like, yo, you my
by your
girlfriend.
logic, though, then does that mean that you can technically not ever have a true first date? If you have to go on a
I
date
feel
before
like
you
you're already
smash.
fucking, it's not a real first date. But if you're friends with someone
But-
for a long
but
time,
that's what
and
happens all
then
the time.
You're like, oh.
What if it's the first time you hook up, though? Like, first time you meet, you hook up, and then y'all end up getting married and date and all that kind of stuff.
Okay, look.
It's recorded.
Look,
It's hot. Mike's hot.
Prime example. Here we go. The last
I wanted to talk to them.
even person I was kind of been interested or whatnot in. You know what I'm saying? I met on a random ass night. Like randomly. Like, you know what I'm
I
saying?
know this story.
Like, we actually, like, it was,
A birthday?
it was a birthday or whatever, blah, blah, blah.
You
We ended up
smirking and
smashing
shit,
that
look.
night. You know what I'm saying? First night I met this person. And we hung out maybe about a month later, but like a whole weekend. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but the way you described it with your first date was that y'all been fucking for a while. Like, that's how
It was maybe about 2
I
weeks.
think it's the way Mike said, like, okay, y'all fucked once, and then y'all y'all like actually start to know each other.
What difference does it make if you fucked once or if you fucked 30 times?
Because if you're fucking like 30 times, you have to know the person at least some. It's not really like that first
not
date,
really.
like, I guess. I feel like, I
Not
think
really.
what the question was, is they want to know, like, what is going through your mind when you have that first date, those first date jitters and all kinds of stuff like that. But if y'all fucked all this time, then you're not really going to have that same, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I understand. I understand that, but like, what my point was even to telling that story was because in this day and age, like that doesn't happen anymore. Like you don't, like we don't get that luxury to actually like going out and actually courting somebody.
Well, you know
what
the
I'm saying?
funny thing though, I feel like this right here is just like a microcosm of like the way men and women think about shit.
Right.
Because she's thinking about the actual question, and we can't get past the semantics.
Yeah, I mean that's usually how shit goes. That's why we're different. Men and women are different, and it's okay.
That is true.
And once again, that's
a lot of things y'all had to say tonight.
and that's why I brought up the fact that women are from Venus, men are from Mars. No, that's a real,
I know.
thing.
I know.
We're never truly gonna understand each other, but we need to live with each other.
All right.
I do want to go back on one more.
Okay, yeah, come on, nah, keep it coming, nah, come on. That's what I came over here for. Come on, for real. I'm serious.
Okay, well, I wanted to go back on whenever you said, like, well, I'm not sure who said it. I'm pretty sure it was you, though, about women are the ones who bring out, like, that emotional stuff in
Right.
the guy. I mean, that only makes sense. You're invested in that person. Same with sports. You're invested in that. You're not really going to be
Yeah,
invested
that's
and
true.
involved with another man, like your friend. Like, you're not going to cry because you're not talking to another friend anymore. Yeah, it's like, all right, whatever, I lost a friend. But if you lose someone you love or your team loses that you've been rooting for all your life, yeah, you're going to be upset about it.
Well, also in that, I was talking about the degree of like the tiffs and rifts that happen in between those relationships. Like between men and women, it's like real petty, you know, and like it starts like to like get, you know, like I don't know, it changes men like how we like actually carry ourselves when we argue with women, or like, you know what I'm saying, when we get in arguments with women. But if, in the same sense, if I get mad at Mike right now about something, or if he's mad at me and vice versa, whatever, we're not gonna like be emotionally like yelling at each other.
Because you're not
You know what I'm
emotionally
saying?
invested in that relationship.
I am emotionally invested in this.
Yeah,
I've
but
been
if
on
y'all
this for
stop
2 years.
talking, y'all are both going to be okay. Versus
No,
like,
no, I won't. This is my best friend. What do you mean?
okay.
What do you mean? You think I'll be okay?
I hear you. I see where you're.
No, I see what you're talking about, but I'm saying that's like. I won't, like, I don't know, like, I won't want to fight. Like, actually, the least emotionally
You won't feel
invested
pain?
that I am with a guy, you know what I'm saying? Like, the more likely I am to whoop his ass. The more emotionally invested I am with a woman, you know what I'm saying? The more we're going to fight, you know what I'm saying? Because, like, if I don't have anything to, like, you know, do it, like, I'm going to be like, bitch, watch out. But if, like...
Okay, so then basically it just goes back to that then. It's not just women. It's what you're invested in. Rather it's sports, a best friend, or a woman that you've been with
you're not even, like, that even invested in each other. Not even, like...
Yeah, so like you said, if you're not invested in a woman, then whenever it gets to a certain argument point, you're just going to be like, all right, fuck it, whatever.
Right, but like still, I believe women drive men to this certain point, so that like where they like will just cut it off. You know what I'm saying?
Like what?
I mean, I don't know. Like I've been in like plenty of like arguments over like nothing, like absolutely.
But like
nothing.
what then? What do you define as nothing?
Say it was like I'm trying to give a good. I mean, just give a good example. All right, say taking like a say if I took a like drug, like say an Adderall or whatever, and didn't tell my significant other that I took one, and an argument started because of that, which just snowballed and snowballed. If that was coming from like my guy friend, who I'm just as emotionally
Invested
I
in.
don't think that's
invested
the same,
in.
though. Like, if you use that same example, Mike's not going to care you're doing it. But the person who you're talking to or whatever is, like, if they have, like, for some reason they're against, you taking Adderall, then, yeah, they're going to have something to argue with you about. Rather that be nothing to you, it's something to her. So it's just different of opinion.
Right, okay, so maybe that was a bad example.
Yeah, it was.
Sometimes, I don't know. Like, I was just saying, like, I've gotten to, like, arguments, and this is just personal experience.
Yeah.
I've gotten to arguments with way more women over just, like, shit that I felt like they started for no reason than I have with guys. Like, I've never gotten, as a matter of fact, the number with guys is 0.
And by the
I've
way,
never gotten to, like,
I
just
feel like
petty,
men care
dumb
like that, though. You're not going to go
arguments.
tell another friend, like, hey, like, I'm going to get mad at you for doing something that I don't think you should be doing. That's what women do. That's what you're doing when you're with someone. You're like, hey, don't do that. It's not right. That's what the woman you were talking to or with is going to tell you. But a friend's not going to say, a friend may say, like, hey, Jock, you probably shouldn't do that because blah, blah, blah. But they're not going to say, Jock, don't do that. He does it. And they're like, man, now I'm mad at you, Jock.
But what's the
Yeah,
the
right.
difference
I hear you.
between Jock being a friend and a significant other being that same friend and telling me what to do and how to do it?
and guys, before we elaborate on that, we have Angel as our special guest, by the way. I know you're probably like, who's this random chick just talking out of nowhere? It's Angel. She's giving us, woman's perspective and feedback. So
This pretty much just shows that women and men do think completely different
Different, yeah.
on things. Like, where you said, like,
it's
we're
ego
fighting.
and ego.
We
We're
fight
stuck
over
on
nothing. But
on
to
the
women, it's something.
semantics.
It's emo and ego.
Emo and ego.
Nah, for real.
Hey, that's what we
That is-
talked
that's
about
why
on the
men
last
and women fight a lot,
episode. Is
because
ego.
once a woman hits a man's ego, they go off.
yeah.
But why do y'all like try to like hit our ego all the time?
Because we know we can.
and y'all do that.
Confession.
Y'all do that knowing the
There it is.
I wouldn't say like consequences.
I've-
but
you know, but
knowing
I've
the
actually-
outcome of how bad shit can go.
I've called like when I've had flings kind of like fall apart, where like I'm like, all right, well let me see like if this is still, like if they'll engage with me, I'll talk back, and they'll be flirty, and if I flirt back, sometimes I get like the wall, and I'm like, hey, if you're not about this life, why are you gonna flirt with me? And they've said, I don't know, just figured you need a confidence boost. I've heard this before.
Yeah, I know.
And I'm like,
see, like
I
y'all are
don't-
conniving.
I've actually heard that verbatim.
Okay, well, when you say that, what I think of is that some women just like to know that they can still like
They have that
get
power.
their ex.
They have
Like
that
they still
power.
have that power.
Yeah.
So they like, oh, he's flirting with me, but once you try to take it too far, they're like, oh, he still wants me. No, though, Mike. Like that's what it is.
And would you feel like
We've
this
lived
kind of
it.
games being played too as well?
I mean, it is, but it just also depends on the women though, because some women just like to know that they have that power over their exes. Like, oh, they like to know, like, oh, he still wants me.
Because does it make you guys feel good? You think, or just because like you guys are bored, or what?
I can't speak for the women on that
But
because
for
I'm
you
not about to
personally,
play games.
right.
We like that shit too, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, definitely, like,
But not
I
like
know
y'all do,
I can be
though.
like that, but
Not like y'all do.
Not to the extent where it's like too much. Cause,
Hey, like some women, not y'all. We're not pointing at me here.
yeah.
All right, so what are some other things, Angel? Please come on. Like this could be a whole other episode. Please come on, give me some shits. Like this is about time in my life.
He says about time.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't
We get into
know.
the shits.
Those are the
We're all
main two that
friends,
like
right?
stood out to me. That was like
We
I
can
wanted
do
to
a
make sure.
whole
And do you
angel
think,
docket
I want to ask you a
next
question.
time.
Do you think like that women think a little deeper, like when you're doing like it can be something like minute and like tiny versus like a guy, when we're talking about different things. You think you guys put more thought into stuff versus us?
Mm,
Oh
I
no,
don't
they do.
I mean,
do.
most yes, but there are some men that I feel like put just as much thought into it.
Oh yeah.
Guys like Mike.
Well, but I just overthink about everything though.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with emotional shit. I'll be like, man, let me watch the Super Bowl 51 again. Like, you know what I mean? I've watched that shit like 400 times. You know what I mean? Like shit like that. So,
But why do you think that is though? Like why women? Because I agree, women do think more than like we do at times. Like what goes on in like you guys' head sometimes,
Okay, I will say yes. They do think sometimes more than like we think. Like because brashly, like in the heat of the moment or whatever. But at the same time, it goes both ways. sometimes one person is thinking and the other person's not thinking. And that's just how it goes. It could go both ways. I won't put it up to men. I won't put it up to women. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Because, like, I'll give you an example. Just the other day, I was with this girl. We were in her, like, apartment garage or whatever. I pulled into we couldn't find her keys, like the key fob to open the garage or whatever.
Yeah.
But she has a handicap shit. She was, like, drunk as fuck. And I'm, like, drunk. You know what I'm saying? And we got, like a bunch of, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, stuff that we shouldn't have on us, you know? Like, and we're just trying to get upstairs. Literally, I'm just trying to get to the fucking elevator. We come in, like, the fucking music's loud and shit. Fucking policeman walks up to, like, the window and shit. I roll down the window. I'm like, yes, sir. He's like, hey, man, if y'all would, could y'all just, like, hurry up and, you know, like, get up to, you know, like, your room, you know. Yes, if we live here, you know what I'm saying? Shit like that. I'm like, yeah. And I was just like, all right, yeah, whatever. She just want to, like, start, like, talking. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm like, yo, just shut the fuck up. This dude's trying to help us out. She's like, I know him. It's like, yo, you don't always have to be right. You know what I'm saying? When she was wrong.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, why do y'all do that? Like,
We all just
literally,
think differently.
I think it's
Yeah.
differently too. It depends on the person, you know.
We need to have a whole sit down. We need to do like a women panel, so y'all can just tell us how we're all wrong about everything.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring Sharon on next time because she has a lot of deep
All right,
shit to
don't
say
do that.
too, you know. Oh no, I'm gonna do it.
Tune in next
Don't
time.
do that. You know, Gary gonna get his ass moved later on tonight.
Why he hasn't done nothing wrong?
Oh,
Yeah, Gary's good.
He said thumbs up.
Hey, hold on real quick. Hold on. Pause.